The coldest inhabited place on Earth is not merely a geographic point. It is a realm where cold becomes a silent predator. Temperatures routinely drop to minus 72 degrees Celsius, and in extreme cold snaps, they can approach minus 75 degrees Celsius. At these levels, the air turns lethal. Exposed skin suffers frostbite almost instantly. Eyelashes freeze together. Breath crystallizes into visible ice particles suspended before the face. Metal objects bond instantly to bare flesh, stripping skin upon removal. The atmosphere no longer sustains life. It actively assaults everything unprotected. Yet, in Oymyakon, a remote settlement in Russia's Sakha Republic, roughly 500 inhabitants, primarily Yakut and Evenki, continue to endure across successive generations. Their existence is not romanticized exploration or heroic adventure. It is a daily reality of poverty, scarcity, and unyielding hardship. Homes are old, dilapidated, and frequently buried beneath snowdrifts. Food is raw, fishy, and often challenging to consume. Sleep takes place on frigid wooden floors beneath threadbare, smoke-impregnated hides. Fire, more precious than gold, is their sole lifeline. Every facet of life constitutes a struggle. Eating merely to remain alive, preserving body heat to avoid freezing, traversing deep snow, and safeguarding livestock against lethal cold. Each morning begins in profound darkness. The sun emerges for only a few feeble hours before retreating. Within the dwellings, the air is so dry and piercingly cold that every inhalation scorches the lungs. Residents awaken trembling beneath layers of aged animal hide blankets, worn thin and stiffened by decades of smoke and use. No comfortable beds or soft mattresses exist. Only wooden floors covered with old reindeer or horse hides, overlaid with several heavy, coarse blankets, permeated by the odor of smoke and stale fur. They lie curled tightly together, bodies pressed close to share residual warmth. Many awaken during the night, limbs numb from cold penetrating the floor, and must rise to revive the fire or add another layer of ragged clothing. Sleep is shallow and fragmented, merely a temporary respite between episodes of cold-induced discomfort and anxiety concerning the fire's survival. Bodies ache from unnatural postures. Backs stiffen, extremities remain numb. Comfort is absent. Only endurance sustains them until dawn. Dwellings here provide no genuine shelter or warmth. They are temporary snow entombments. Most structures are old wooden constructions, walls fractured by frost heave, roofs sagging beneath accumulated tons of snow. Many date from the Soviet period and are now deteriorating. Floors remain icy, walls fissured so wind whistles through every gap. Some families continue to inhabit traditional yurts, circular tents of wood and hides, though the aged skins offer minimal insulation. In winter, snow entombs the houses so completely that entrance doors vanish. Residents must excavate tunnels with shovels or bare hands, sometimes requiring hours merely to access the exterior. Interiors are cramped, dark, and saturated with the scent of coal smoke and damp fur. No separate chambers exist. Entire families occupy one or two spaces, huddled together to conserve heat. Central heating and effective insulation are unknown. Only hides and felt affixed to walls, largely ineffective against infiltrating wind. The indoor atmosphere remains dry and bitterly cold despite the fire. Breath condenses into white frost on the ceiling. Each morning they chip accumulated ice from window surfaces to peer outside, yet the view reveals only an endless white void, devoid of vegetation or signs of vitality. Fire constitutes the single most precious resource in daily existence. Every flame represents survival. Firewood is harvested from distant forests during the brief summer season and transported back, stacked meticulously, inventoried piece by piece as though it were gold. Coal is likewise scarce and rigorously rationed. The modest stove is ignited at first light and maintained throughout the day, yet the fire must remain subdued to preserve fuel, A vigorous blaze would deplete supplies too rapidly. When flames weaken, the room cools swiftly, respiration becomes labored, and bodies commence shivering. Should the fire extinguish due to fuel exhaustion or wind-induced backdraft, the entire household faces the risk of freezing overnight. Residents frequently awaken in darkness to verify the flames, add small increments of wood, and ensure continuity. Fire serves not merely for warmth, it melts snow for water, prepares food, dries garments, and sustains life. Absent fire, life ceases. Consequently, firewood and coal are regarded as treasures. Their loss equates to total loss. Food depends entirely upon hunting and herding. Permafrost precludes cultivation. No vegetable gardens, no crops, no harvests exist. Survival relies on pursuing deer, hares, birds, and maintaining reindeer or horse herds that scrape lichen from beneath snow cover, often starving during lean years. Even domesticated livestock endure severe hardship. Thin, frail, trembling through storms, their bodies struggling to produce milk or meat. Herding is a luxury. Animals are precious, nourished on whatever scant lichen can be unearthed and slaughtered only when no alternative remains. Every portion is utilized. Nothing is discarded. Cooking constitutes torment. Fuel, firewood or coal, is more valuable than gold. The stove is small, the fire deliberately subdued, and every meal must be prepared swiftly to conserve fuel. The aroma of food is frequently overpowered by dense coal smoke permeating the dwelling, irritating eyes and throats. Stroganina, thinly sliced raw frozen river fish, serves as a daily staple. Its odor is intensely fishy, like fresh scales mingled with icy brine. Its flavor is raw and tangy, occasionally metallic from residual blood. Fishermen drill through 2 meters of ice manually, fingers numb despite gloves, extracting omul or whitefish from dark waters below. The catch freezes solid outdoors within hours. Slicing demands a knife warmed over the stove to prevent fracture, executed lengthwise for crispness. Consumed with salt, it offers a crunchy yet chewy texture, refreshing yet challenging for unaccustomed palates. It supplies omega-3 fatty acids and vitamin C to combat scurvy, though the raw fishy aftertaste lingers persistently. Han, raw frozen horse meat from young foals, emits the scent of fresh blood, tastes sweet yet gamey, akin to cold iron with an earthy undertone. The raw texture initially feels slimy. The blood flavor is off-putting. Horses endure considerable hardship. They graze frozen lichen, frequently malnourished, shivering through blizzards. Slaughter occurs in autumn, meat cleaned with boiled melted snow, a slow, fuel-intensive procedure, then frozen outdoors. Slicing takes place indoors with a warmed knife, consumed with raw liver for added iron. It is eaten several times weekly when available. Though horse meat remains rare, animals are too valuable for frequent slaughter. Kaan kuyur, frozen blood sausage, possesses a pungent odor of raw blood and salt, tastes dense and salty with a slight offal tang that sometimes borders on unpleasant. Preparation is arduous. Blood is mixed with scarce flour, stuffed into intestines cleaned minimally with boiled melted snow, then frozen outdoors. Consumed raw or lightly roasted, it is chewy and iron-rich, essential against anemia, though its primal flavor repels many. Offal soup, ismin, exudes a strong, earthy, and metallic aroma, with a gamey undertone some find repugnant. Heart, liver, and lungs are chopped and simmered for hours in melted snow water on the stove, fuel rationed tightly. The broth is thick and nourishing, yet organ flavors dominate. Hard flour bread emits a dry baking dust aroma, tastes tough and bland, necessitating prolonged chewing. Flour is imported and scarce, mixed with melted snow water, baked on coals. Fuel so precious that loaves remain small. Frozen reindeer cheese smells milky and slightly sour, tastes crumbly and fatty. Milk from starving herds is frozen into blocks and shaved thin. Fermented mare's milk, kumis, smells yeasty like sour yogurt, tastes fizzy and slightly alcoholic. Milk from suffering mares is fermented in leather bags, a rare delicacy. Clothing comprises 30 to 40 layers of patched fur and wool, heavy yet life-saving, creating air pockets for insulation. Hats, boots, and gloves are indispensable, handmade and repaired nightly. Outdoor movement proceeds slowly through deep snow, fully layered to prevent sweat freezing. Mornings, houses entombed in snow, doors frozen shut, air dry and lung searing. The stove is ignited first for warmth, fuel valued as highly as gold. Children engage in brief outdoor play in layers, then study within cramped interiors. Every activity proceeds slowly, conserving energy and fuel. Health challenges persist relentlessly. Medicine is scarce. Frostbite, scurvy, pneumonia, and depression prevail. No nearby medical facilities exist, only self-treatment with animal fat and dried herbs. Many endure suffering in silence. Despite poverty, cultural traditions persist. Shamanic beliefs continue. Prayers precede hunting or slaughter, gratitude offered to animal spirits for good fortune. The brief summer festival Isyak provides their sole period of joy. Traditional attire, kumis consumption, dancing around fires to pray for a less lethal winter. Permafrost, the eternally frozen ground, remains the greatest adversary. Structures are erected on wooden piles to prevent subsidence, yet walls inevitably crack over time. Adaptation relies upon utilizing every natural resource: hides for bedding, fur for garments, bones for needles. Evenki nomadic heritage endures: relocation with reindeer herds, yurt habitation, acceptance of hardship as inherent to existence.